Surround me, anytime, anywhere. My mind is there, they're waiting for me. They're calling on me.
Lay low, hit the sun, everybody have a real good time, real good time.
Surround me,
Yeah, we cool, yeah, we drunk, lost my mind and baby I feel high, I feel high.
they're calling on me.
Lay low, hit the sun, everybody have a real good time, real good time.
Surround me,
Yeah, we cool, yeah, we drunk, lost my mind and baby I feel high, I feel high.
they're calling on me.
May I be like Mary, open to the movements of your heart, blessed in the keeping of your promise.
You're my rock star, baby, got me hypnotized. See the whole world dancing right before my eyes. You can love me, you can love me tonight. You're my rock star. I think I had a dream of you. Now I'm in love, since crazy moon. You make the crowds go high and sing a song for me all night. There's a holding me here tonight. It has control over me for life. Gotta go back to sleep, see your eyes. Got those cowboy roots and I miss you every time. You're my rock star, baby, got me hypnotized. See the whole world dancing right before my eyes. You can love me, you can love me tonight. You're my Everybody came to see you play. Standing in the middle, I can't look away. And I hear them sing our song. For the sweet times I wish they'd gone. There's a holding me here tonight. It has control over me for life. Gotta go back to sleep, see your eyes. Got those cowboy roots and I miss you every time. You're my rock star, baby, got me hypnotized. See the whole world dancing right before my eyes. You can love me, you can love me tonight. You're my rock star, baby, got me hypnotized. See the whole world dancing right before my eyes. You can love me, you can love me tonight. You're my rock star.
Welcome, everybody. We're going to get started here in just a few minutes. Thank you guys so much for being with us. I'm excited to bring you some massive value tonight. And we're going to get started here in just a few minutes. Feel free to share this link with a few people that want to learn about getting their income up and want to hear about what's going on in the global economies and finances and how you can take advantage of what's going on for your future and your family. So guys, share this link. We'll get started here in just a few moments. All right, guys, we're about to get started here. Thank you guys for being with us. What's up? What's up, family? Hope you guys are doing well. Again, excited to be here with all of you tonight. This is the first time that we do this, and it's been on my heart for a while. So I am excited to be able to connect with all of you guys and be here today for the first official Max Out Mondays. And guys, here's what I'll tell you. I've been thinking about ways to really add value to those that, want to learn a trade, want to be doing something with investing. And I want to add value to you guys. Many of you have followed me for many years. And, I've been quiet after, so many years between nonprofit work, working in insurance business, and then, frontlining for an academy and hitting a huge position there, still connected there. But I wanted to do something outside of the box. And I really felt like doing something where I could provide a free value to people with something that, could help people go to the next level. It's a way for me to connect. And to be honest with you, for the last, few months, I've really been seeing a whole lot of things going on that really right now got me thinking about the future, got me thinking about life, got me thinking about, the generations to come and what's coming really for the world. And here's what I know is that there's a shift coming, right? It's a major shift that's happening in the world, in the economies and the way that things work. And, I really believe that over the next 10 to 20 years, this is going to be a completely different planet, right? Completely different economy. And, we'll be talking about it from week to week, but let's talk about Max Out Mondays and kind of the vision. And, my goal is, these sessions are going to be an hour long, give or take a little bit. Don't want to make them too long. There's a lot of stuff I want to cover. But here's, kind of the basis of what we're going to be talking about. One, we're going to talk about, current events as it relates to economies, global economies, finances, investing, right? We're going to be looking at what's going on in the world that you need to be paying attention to financially, right? And we're going to talk about how that could potentially be something that could, be an opportunity for you to potentially make an increase, right? No financial advice. I'm never going to tell you guys invest in this, invest in that. I'm not licensed for that. I'm not going to do it. But what I will tell you is, hey, these are my reflections on what I'm seeing based on my experience, based on what I've read, based on what I've learned. And based on those things, I'll share with you guys kind of where I see we could potentially go, right? So we're going to talk about global economies and things that are going on. We're going to talk about trading. Leverage trading has been something that I've really been focused on over the last, really 5 years. Me and a good group of people, have been really mastering trading for the last few years. And I want to share with you guys the ability to leverage trade because, in my opinion, it's probably the most scalable business on the planet. And some would say maybe it's not a business because you have to physically do it, right? But it is the most scalable income, let's put it that way, that you can create on the planet. That's just the bottom line, right? And so, yeah, there's other great businesses, but I'm going to show you guys how trading, leverage trading can help you with that. And you don't need a whole lot of money. And over time, I'll even teach you how you can trade with, certain companies that fund accounts for you. And we will definitely be covering that. And listen, you guys can drop in the comments below, what do you think that you want to hear about, moving into, the next sessions. Let me know, drop comments, shoot me messages on social media. Let me know what you want to cover and we'll cover those. So we're going to cover global events, economies, finances, things to look out for, both the good and bad, right? And then we're going to talk about leverage trading, how to potentially create an income for yourself doing that in certain ways that I've seen that are successful and how to get into something like that. And then we're going to talk about cryptocurrencies as well and the digital currency revolution. Okay. And I know, crypto's down. And if you're new to crypto, you've probably heard or even thought, Bitcoin is dead. Crypto is dead. I'm here to tell you it's not. And I'm not going to get into it on today's session because we don't have the time for it. I don't want to make these 3-4 hours long. But what I will tell you is, when you look at what's going on the planet, what Bitcoin started in 2009, when you look at what's happened since then, there are countries creating digital currencies. I believe, in the very near future, over the next decade or two, all currencies are going to be digitized, right? They're all going digital. And what that means is cryptocurrency is real. When you look at the NFT wave, right? I know also people are saying NFTs are a bust. It was crap. People lost money. Here's what I'll tell you. Got to look at NFT as a technology. Technology, again, connected to crypto and digital currencies, right? So none of this is going away. And there's a huge opportunity for you to really focus in. While everybody thinks that crypto's dead, while everybody thinks it's not coming back, we're going to talk about why you should still be paying attention to crypto, why you should still be thinking about the future of the digital revolution, and how you could potentially take action and be a part of that. So trading, leverage trade, cryptocurrency, leverage trading, and global economies and what's going on. Now, here's another thing I'll mention to you guys. Okay. I'm going to be bringing on guests on these. It's not going to be every single week, but at least once a month, I'm going to have a guest come on here to talk to us about current events. I'm going to look for some of the biggest and most known traders in the space, and I'm going to get them on here and get them talking about what's going on in the world, what they see as potential opportunities, and put you guys on a game to some great resources. Now, by the way, I do see everybody in the chat. Please send this link out, get some people to subscribe. Again, I didn't do a whole lot of promotion on this first one. I really just wanted to get started and get connected with everybody out here and just really start adding value and dissecting some of the things, guys, that I've been seeing, that I've been thinking about. And I really think that these are important things for you guys to be paying attention to as well. Now, let's talk about Mondays, right? Why did I do this on Mondays? Why Max Out Mondays? Listen, first of all, most people know me as Steve Max, aka Max the Mentor. And originally I was going to call this I Love Mondays. And, I was talking to my design team and my branding team. And we decided that, we needed something with more oomph, with more power. So you guys know where we're coming from. And I thought of Max Out Mondays. Look, I know you're tired if you work a regular job, right? I know that, sometimes, you hate Mondays. I want to change that for you. I want you to see how Mondays can be something where you could be excited about it, where you could be motivated about it, where you start to understand why Monday's an important day. Because I'm going to teach you guys how to trade starting on Mondays, meaning let Monday play out. And then starting Mondays, right, you're going to learn, how to trade. Now, you can still trade on Mondays, but Mondays gives you one of my favorite ways to get into trades. I'll share a little bit about that towards the end of our call today. And, if you've never done trading before, just listen. That's why you're going to come on these sessions. You're going to learn and you're going to get acclimated. But Monday sets your week up, sets your tone up so that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're absolutely crushing it. And Friday is optional, right? Max Out Mondays. I want you to start thinking about Mondays as the first day of the week for opportunity. I remember working a warehouse job, over 12, 14 years ago or something like that, maybe even 15 years ago. I'd have to do the numbers. Yeah, it was I started 15 years ago and I worked there for 3 years. So, there you go. I remember being there, and I remember there was this ongoing joke between me and this guy, because he would always say, I love Mondays. I was like, dude, I love Mondays too. He's like, yeah, today's the first day I can start getting paid. Now, listen, now we know in a digital economy, you can get paid 7 days a week. But the point is this: Mondays triggers the first day of the work week. It's the first day that the regular markets are open. It's the first day of the week where people can purchase stocks, right? And other things that are part of the institutionalized economy, right? Markets. Now, cryptocurrency, you could buy 7 days a week, but if you want to buy stocks and trade in the stock market, trade in Forex, foreign exchange, standard currencies, you got to trade from Monday to Friday, right? And Friday, it cuts off at a certain point in the early evening, and that's it. You can't trade again till Monday, depending on where it hits, right? Australia, Monday is a lot earlier, but the point is from Monday to Friday is when people can trade. So Mondays, we need to max it out. We need to plan our future. We need to plan our week. We need to get ready to crush it and make things happen. So Mondays is a great day for you to be focused on opportunities for the week. Plus, if you work a regular job and you feel tired at the end of the day, I want to be that sense of inspiration for you on Monday evenings. We're going to get on here. We're going to get motivated. We're going to get excited, right? We're going to be looking at, all right, what's the market doing? What opportunities are out there that we're going to take advantage of? And that's what we're going to focus on. We're not going to focus on that job that we hate. We're not going to focus on the life that we don't have yet. We're going to focus on what opportunities are out there and how we can take advantage of that. So guys, I'm really super excited about this. Seriously, I'm excited to share, this time with you guys. And I see this as growing into a major thing. But listen, we could only do it together. So if you see value in this, number one, make sure you like this video. Make sure you comment on it and share this. Share this on your social media. Share this with your friends, right? Get them to subscribe because my goal, right, our vision is to impact 1 million lives around the world. And I can only do that with you together. And for many years, the only way that you would get my coaching is to be part of a subscription. And, right now I'm giving you guys free access to me. And we're going to be doing this live again, once a week on here for absolutely free, just to add value to you guys. And we'll switch it up and we'll add some stuff, add some flavor. I'll look at, maybe doing some inspirational stuff at the beginning. You guys, again, just comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you would like to see more of. And like that, I can go ahead and expand on what it is that we should talk about. All right, fam. With that said, let's go ahead and get this thing started. I want to share with you guys some powerful stuff today. Some topics that I think we just need to talk about looking into the near future, and why Max Out Mondays is important for you to subscribe and be a part of this moving forward. So go ahead and if you got a way to take notes, I would highly encourage that. And let's get it. All right. So you guys should be able to see my screen now. And we're going to go ahead and talk about where the economy currently is. And I'm just going to, we're all looking at the same thing. Perfect. All right, let's run it. All right, guys. So let's talk about where the economy is right now. Okay. And again, just for the sake of time, I'm not going to dive super deep into anything specific today. What I'll do is, in future sessions, as we get this thing rolling, I'm going to really focus in on, 1 or 2 main current event topics, and then dive right into investing, and then dive right into charting. Today, I'm not gonna dive super deep into charting. As much as I'm going to dive into current events and kind of why I'm doing this stream and why it's important for you guys to be paying attention to what's going on so that you can prepare yourself and your family. Guys, listen, it's no coincidence or no surprise that right now everybody's talking about recession. Everywhere you look, TikTok, Instagram, you turn on the news, everybody's talking about a recession that's coming, a recession that's here. And even though, the U.S. government has wanted to not necessarily officially declare one, the truth is, it's out here, right? Inflation is massive. People have been talking about inflation for years. As a person that I was a licensed investment, not necessarily an advisor, but I was a person that could open up investment accounts for people for many years. I would talk about inflation all the time, and nobody really talked about inflation. Everybody said, hey, it's between 2 and 3%, so you got to earn 2 or 3% more than you did last year to stay ahead of it. Well, now we know that inflation rates have hit massive numbers over the last year. Some estimate in the double digits, right? And if you look at the prices of certain things, it's definitely true, especially in food, that things have gone up astronomically. Now, just because there's inflation doesn't necessarily mean there's a recession, right? But here's what's happening is that as inflation's, rising and people are going through tougher situations, and the Fed is raising the rates, making it harder for big institutions to borrow money, right? What happens is there's less money flowing, right? Now, because of all of this and a series of things that I won't get into today, we are now going to see what's going on in the world when it comes to a recession. Okay, the housing market has cooled down. I'll talk about that in another session. But here's what I want you to focus on right now for today. Goldman Sachs today said that they're cutting up to 3,200 employees this week, right? as Wall Street gets ready for a tough year. Everybody, I'm talking about everybody, major leaders, they're all talking about 2023 being a tough year. Okay. Now, doesn't mean it has to be tough for you, right? We believe in positive thinking. We believe in faith. We believe in believing for the best. But you need to be ready that 2023 can potentially be a tough financial year for you. Just like COVID was. I'm grateful, guys, during COVID. Me and my family, we did very well, right? I was trading, part of a great academy, had a great income coming in. So, I didn't get slammed through COVID financially like so many other people did. And if you did, man, I feel for you. But I want you to be ready because something could potentially hit like that again. Not necessarily a pandemic, but a financial crisis can come, right? So Goldman Sachs, major investment company, right? 3,200 employees that are getting cut from them in this current layoff that they just announced. Check this out. Amazon, last year, they were saying that they were going to cut around 10,000 workers, I believe was the number. Well, now Amazon has jacked that up to 18,000 workers, guys. So what that means is, Amazon is a major company. I mean, I buy from Amazon every week. You and probably everybody buys from Amazon. For Amazon to be cutting 18,000 jobs is a major thing. I mean, it's massive. Jeff Bezos, he's been recently saying that, he's calling for a major recession, right? Let's look that up. I've been seeing it over and over, right? He's been talking about that there's a major economic downturn coming, right? He's been talking about a likely recession coming. So think about this. Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in the world, right? He's telling people to prepare for this. Mind you, it doesn't even make sense for him to tell us this because he wants us to buy his stuff. But guess what? He's preparing for what's coming. So here you have Goldman Sachs, major financial institution, layoffs. Then you've got Amazon, right? Biggest company, one of the biggest companies in the world, layoffs. You got Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in the world, talking about recession. And so here's what we know is that there is a massive likelihood right now that we're going to see a major economic shift over the next couple of months here going into the rest of 2023. So as I get into this conversation and why I started this stream, I want you to really be thinking about, are you ready for a major economic downturn? Okay, I'm talking about if you could lose your job, right? If and I'm going to get into this, if there was war that started, right? Are you ready for whatever could come your way? And listen, we can't prepare for everything, but I want you to have your mindset around the fact that you may not always be able to survive the way that you've survived before. Meaning if you get fired, you get laid off, you go get another job, right? You go Uber, you go, do these Postmates and DoorDash. Guys, I'll tell you something else. And I don't have this in my notes for tonight, but automation is going to wipe out an incredible amount of jobs over the next couple of decades, an incredible amount. We need to be preparing our children, right, to be prepared for a different type of economy coming up over the next 10 to 20 years. And so we really got to focus in. Artificial intelligence, right? Chat GPT or whatever. Listen, artificial intelligence, guys, is going to take over a lot of jobs, okay, over the next few decades. So you need to prepare for this. And now, by the way, okay, I will tell you something. It may not take decades to do it, all right? Chat GPT, all right? It may not take decades to replace jobs. So you need to be ready because between artificial intelligence and automation, a lot of the ways that people are surviving right now are not going to exist going into the future, all right? So that's where we're at today. We're facing a global recession, massive inflation, which means everything is more expensive, right? And on top of that, okay, we had this crazy Ukraine war that broke out, right, last year. Now, listen, I'm not a doomsday guy, or anything like that, all right? I'm not saying the world's coming to an end anytime soon, right? But what I am saying is pay attention to this. Pay attention to this. and not in the way that CNN or, Fox News has you paying attention to this. I just want you to pay attention to this and how it can affect you and your family and how you should prepare for this. Because what's going on in Ukraine is basically a proxy war where the US and our allies are supporting, this country, and then Russia is, attacking this country. And even though we're not at war, there's like a very thin line, okay, between us not being in war and us going to war. All right. So as I go into some of the other things I'm going to talk about, I want you to be thinking about this through the lens of we're not at war, but we're very close to it, right? Like there's a very thin line that we need to just be aware. As most of my viewers are from the US. If you're watching from somewhere else, you watch this later from somewhere else, let me know in the comments, right? But the point is that this is affecting everybody. That's the truth. I mean, Europe, the energy prices in Europe, because of the war in Ukraine, have skyrocketed. And we're talking about during winter months, right? Where people need gas, for heaters and things of that nature. All kinds of, natural resources are going up in price because of the war in Ukraine. So I want you to be paying attention to this, because not only are we in a major economic downturn, there's a major possibility for that. But on top of that, there's a major war going on. Now, Ukraine, major country, personally, the US, for most American citizens, we don't think about Ukraine like that. It's not like saying Canada or Mexico, right? Ukraine, small country out in Europe. Not that they're worth any less. I'm just saying, small country out there, you wouldn't think that that would be such a big deal. But look at how World War I started. If you really read up on it, it's something so random that triggered a bunch of events that led us to World War I. I'm not saying World War III is coming, but what I am saying is we're in a really sensitive place, and I don't think that most people understand how sensitive of this time it is, right? And I know, guys, I'm going into some stuff, but this is the stuff I want to cover, because this is why trading is important. This is why understanding the markets is important, because all of this is going on, and there's light at the end of the tunnel, because if you learn how to trade, you learn the markets, regardless of what's happening, you can position yourself and pretty much live anywhere on the planet. Right? So I'm going somewhere with this. Just follow me. So this is happening in Ukraine. Russia's on the other side, right? The current administration that we have is not really knowing how to maneuver these types of tough situations. Okay. And so it's a very interesting dynamic of what's going on right now. Now, top of the fact that basically because of the situation with Ukraine, and the US backing Ukraine and all the allies backing Ukraine, Russia's on the other side. Russia, for many years, for, many lifetimes now, many generations, we haven't been enemies, but we haven't been allies, right? In the Cold War, right? We're kind of there in a stalemate where never declared war, but we're not super friendly either. So there's this weird dynamic. Now, it gets even weirder when you begin to add China into the picture. Now, I've been talking to people about this, and this is where I start getting super concerned. Okay. And again, I'm telling you guys, we're in a very thin line between where we are and where things can get to. Okay. So now when you start paying attention to China, okay, China is very, very close to Russia. Okay. Not saying that they would go to war with the US like that. It won't happen like that if it did happen. But let's talk economics. What's going on right now? Russia, right? They have power with oil and many other things out in Europe. And China, okay, and I'm going to get that into it in a second. China has become one of the top economies on the planet, and they're connected. Now check this out. You've got China, you've got Russia, right? They're all connected. And then there's this thing called BRICS. Right? BRICS is a group of countries uniting together. Okay. And now they're working on a basically a currency to slow down the dependency on the US dollar. Now, for those of you who have never studied like the importance of this, the reason, or one of the reasons, other than our military force, that the US has such a strong economy is because so many countries around the world, right? They use the dollar. The dollar is important, right? Forever, for a long time now, basically when countries would buy oil, they had to settle their accounts with the US dollars. Well, now there's things that have been happening so that that is no longer the case. Okay. And on another topic, the US not being smart with the relationship with Saudi Arabia over the last few years has not played well into this either. Okay. But here's the point. You've got these countries, okay, including Russia and China. India is our ally, but India is working on this financial currency with China and with Russia, right? This BRICS currency, guys, has major potential to change up a lot of the power that the US has economically, globally. And so what happens is, instead of the US dollar being up here and everybody else being down here, there's a fight right now to get it even. And that is not good for our future, especially when you think about the fact that, God forbid, we go to war with Russia. God forbid there's a war with China, and our economy is not where it's been, and they take over financially as well. I'll tell you guys, just be ready. That's all I'm gonna say, is just be ready, okay? Because this thing is twisting and turning in weird ways, where US is getting put into a not so superior place anymore. And listen, I'm open. There's going to be people on the stream that are not just US citizens. I am talking from a US perspective, but this changes a lot for a lot of people. Remember this, guys. Look, as much as people can hate the US, as much as people can talk bad about the US and, the government here, here's what I'll tell you. The US traditionally are very giving people, and traditionally they want freedom for most countries. And traditionally, right, without conspiracy theories and all kinds of other stuff, we are one of the most free countries in the world, and our government was written for that. And so even though it's not like I believe the US should be king of the world, I don't believe that at all. I believe there's a scary thing that can happen when you've got dictators like, the Chinese, the Chinese government, also the Russian government, right, which definitely not democratic at all. The power that they can have here over the next 10, 20 years, we got to pay attention to this. And God forbid there's an all-out war that happens, whether it starts from Ukraine or something else. You've got Russia. China would probably eventually side with them. There's just a lot of bad stuff that can come from this. So again, I'm not trying to get into conspiracy theories, but today what I want to do is just open your mind to what's going on out there. Now, guys, the last thing I'll talk about current events to kind of set the tone, right, for this and future calls that we'll do and future sessions we'll do. China's on path right now to overtake the US as the world's largest economy by 2035. So think about this. The US has traditionally always been ahead of the game. China, they've been catching up. They're number 2 now. By the way, I just read something just earlier today, right, about India is now number 3. Now, India, by the way, and they took the spot from Japan. Japan was number 3, and now India took it. And India, we're great friends with India. So militarily, we're good with them, right? But the point is that China's number 2 and pushing to become number 1. And there's a lot of talk right now about emerging countries, because emerging countries are hustling like crazy, and they got a lot of work and oomph behind them. There's a lot of the Western world being left behind. When England used to be an economic superpower, and France and Spain, the US, right? All of these Western countries are being left behind. And a lot of these emerging countries over the next 20 years, they can be number 1. So the point is, again, don't sit at home thinking it's all good. I just work a job. I just live my life. No. In fact, that's why the US is falling behind. That's why Western countries are falling behind. We've stopped being innovators. We've stopped being hustlers. We've stopped being, the savages that we've been to get to where we are. And so most people are just sitting idly by. And guess what? The rest of the world is outpacing. All right. So important stuff, guys, to pay attention to. All right. So as the economy shifting, and I'll take a quick pause here. As the economy shifting, and we're looking at, what's going on in the world today, Are you ready for it? Are you preparing yourself for it? Because it's coming whether you like it or not. That's the God honest truth. And you need to be prepared for it, my friends, because it's coming and it's coming fast. And so the economy that we've had for so long where, you could just work a job and if you lose it, you get another one. Listen, there's some stuff coming down the pipeline that it's not going to be like it's been for future generations. We need to be ready. We need to be getting prepared because when this thing shifts, and it will shift, are you ready to shift with it, right? Most importantly, are you willing to shift before it even happens, right? Because when it happens, it'll be too late. And I'm going to get into stuff little by little over these streams, right? I may not always spend as much time talking about current events as I'm doing right now, but I want to set the tone to why I felt passionate about doing this, because these are things we need to talk about. And again, guys, in the chat, in the comments, let me know, about things that you guys want me to cover in the future. And I'll definitely do that moving forward into, future sessions. All right. All right. With that said, guys, I do want to talk about a few things real quick. And then I'm going to dive into some charts and some other awesome things. So one, let's look at where cryptocurrency is today. And listen, on future sessions, I'll definitely break down more on crypto and what's going on and why I love crypto and stuff like that. Today, I'm just expecting you to have some basics and know it. But basically, guys, Bitcoin is at 17,000. I'll tell you right now, is Bitcoin down from its all-time high? Yes. But guess what? It was down from its all-time high a few years ago as well, when Bitcoin's all-time high was around 20,000 and had dropped down to 3,000. 17,000 is still doing absolutely amazing, guys, for Bitcoin. And, I'll tell you, it's been on an uptrend since it was created, meaning you should be thinking about what number you'd be willing to get into Bitcoin at. All right, that's all I'll say on this stream right now. Again, I'm not telling you to buy Bitcoin. I'm just telling you, don't be thinking Bitcoin's dead. It's not dead. Ethereum still holding on at 1,300. Guys, I remember when I started in this space, Ethereum was at $98, $99, $89, and it's at 1,300. So whoever told you Bitcoin is dead, crypto's dead, they don't know what they're talking about, okay? Let me mention something real quick. You guys see how we're talking about BRICS, right? You need to understand that these countries are working on digital currencies, and so is the US. Okay, so just understand that off the bat, is that there are already countries working on their own digital currencies. Okay, the whole world will be digitized, and what's going to happen is this: when these world powers begin to have their currencies as digital currencies, they're going to be able to see every transaction you make. Now, I'm not saying you want to do illegal transactions. I'm not saying that you shouldn't want to be verified and do things the right way. That's not what I'm saying. But for those that think that privacy is important, okay? Also, when a government digitizes their currency, they could potentially lock your accounts if they want to. They could potentially stop you from using payments towards things they don't want you to pay for. And on future things, I'll talk about the kind of control that a government can have by digitizing your currency. When that happens, would you think that the need for unregulated cryptocurrencies is going to go up, or is it going to go down? I believe it's going to go up, because this is going to be the only way that you're going to be able to have transactions that any government that maybe you don't feel is, worthy of knowing every move that you make, right? This is the only way that you're going to be able to do it. And so when the world goes crazy, and it's close to getting crazy right now, would you rather be in China using their Chinese digital currency, where the government that is still locking them down for COVID and controlling all kinds of parts of their lives? Do you think that people in China would want to use that digital currency all the time? Or what if they block them from things like, hey, there's not enough food? Guys, my family's from Cuba. And when you want chicken, you got to wait for the chicken trucks. And if there's no chicken this week, you're not getting chicken. It's all controlled by the government. That's why you got to be careful with socialist and communist thinking. I mean, when I was a kid in middle school, I thought it was amazing. As I grew up, I realized it's not that smart. And so imagine these guys controlling what you can buy, what you can spend money on, what you can't spend money on, right? And then you've got things like Bitcoin, things like Ethereum, and many other coins that are out there. I believe that as countries begin to make their own coins, I think there's going to be a massive desire for these other coins that are out there. Okay, just that's all I'll say. I'm not telling you they're a great investment. You have to do that decision on yourself, on your own. But just pay attention to this space because it's not going away. I've been watching it for 5 years. I've done a lot of back studying on this. This is not going away. Pay attention to what's going on in the cryptocurrency space. And there's a lot of potential opportunity there going into the future. The last thing I'll say on cryptocurrency right now before I move on is that I believe that massive regulation may potentially push the price down a little bit as people become even more scared of it. Meaning there's a potential that countries are going to try to outlaw it. They've already done that in the past. There might be massive just a tax on it government wise, because they don't want you to use this. They're going to want you to use their, Chinese digital currency, the Russian digital currency, the US digital currency, right? So there's going to be a massive push towards that. And they're going to try to push you away from this. I do see that being a potential challenge at first with cryptocurrencies. And then after that regulation happens, I believe that, you'll see price go up again. And I do have ways where I will talk in the future about why I think, cryptocurrency in 2024, 2025 is when we're scheduled to see another, what we call a bull run, right? When prices begin to go up with digital currencies. I do see that happening again, 2024, 2025 is when that'll most likely happen again. Again, can't predict the future, but we can look at the past, and there's some things that I'll talk about on future sessions. Look up Bitcoin halving. And if you really do a deep dive on Bitcoin halving, you'll see why 2024, 2025 could potentially be great years for crypto. Okay, do your homework, but all I'm saying is get ready. These numbers will not stay like this forever. All right, now, guys, I'm going to show you something for a lot of you guys that are newer. I don't want it to scare you, and that is a chart. All right, I'm going to show you guys this chart, and you could pretty much look at anything. This is tradingview.com. You guys can get this. There's a free account. I'm a nerd like this. I don't do the free accounts most of the time. I always end up paying for it. My wife thinks I'm crazy, right? But this helps. Okay, I just pay for it because I get different functions. You don't have the ads, but you can go to tradingview.com and you can do this for free, and you can start looking at stuff. Okay, you can do everything here. My favorites are US 30, which is the top 30 stocks of the Dow Jones. I love oil. Okay, you can look at the strength of the dollar on DXY, and a bunch of other things. I got the other stock markets in the US here, and forex pairs. If you guys don't know forex, foreign exchange, it's one currency traded for another. Okay, and you can actually trade that. And I just have the British pound there versus the US dollar, which I was thinking about today. I'm going to start looking at it. But mostly what I've been trading right now, guys, is US 30, top 30 stocks of the Dow Jones. Just real quick, just because I was just talking about it, I do want to show you guys Bitcoin. So you do BTC USD. So the way it works is BTC is Bitcoin, USD is the US dollar. So you're looking at this as Bitcoin versus the US dollar. Obviously, if in Europe, there's a BTC EUR. You could do BTC against all kinds of different currencies if you want. I only use BTC USD because I am in the US, right? But you can see prices going up and down. I'm not going to do a deep dive on how to trade and what trading is today. I'm expecting you guys to know it. As we go into stuff in the future, I'll break down more. But here you can look at the price of Bitcoin, and you guys can see that Bitcoin's been kind of stable. It's been ranging, since June of last year. You did get a slight pump up to about 25,000, and it's been coming down. And now it's been about ranging, again, depending on what happens, global economy wise, recession wise, regulation wise, price could potentially keep coming down. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it could potentially keep coming down, but it's been pretty stable. So you guys can look at Bitcoin and many other things through here. Now, for today, guys, I'm just going to look at US 30. Again, this is the top 30 stocks of the Dow Jones. You can trade this leverage. So I trade this like Forex. There's something called MetaTrader 4. MetaTrader 5, and you can basically get in and out of trades, and you can make money whether it goes up or down. So, you know, as I've been talking about all these different things, some questions you may have is, well, dude, I don't got a whole lot of money to invest. You're talking about crypto, and I don't really have a lot of money to invest in crypto. That's okay. You should be learning something called leverage trading. One, you can start trading it with only a couple $100. Two, you get good at it. You get disciplined is the better word. You get disciplined at it. You can, you know, go to get a funded account. All right. And I'll talk about funded accounts in the future. But here's a nugget that I'll give you guys for, you know, staying on with me to the end of this stream. And, you know, as we're looking at this chart, one thing that I'll share with you that has been game changing for me, okay, is trading based off of what a Monday candle does. So again, candles are these thick parts right here, guys, right? Wicks are these little thin parts here. Can't really get into breaking that down too much, but you can, you know, YouTube, you know, what candles mean. But check this out. On Mondays, a candle prints, right? And about 6 p.m., I want to say 6 p.m., the market closes Eastern time. And then the next day starts, right? Now, check this out. What I like to do is this. I like to mark up where Mondays opened and closed as a candlestick. All right. So let's do this. So let's go here. Monday. Boom. All right. And I'm just going to mark this as green. Money green. All right. Put a little brighter. All right, cool. And then I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom. Now, this is the US stock market. All right. I'm not trading this tonight. Some people will trade this, what's called London session, and they'll trade this, you know, overnight. London, depending on time of year, opens around 3 a.m. Eastern. Okay. And, you know, people will trade this overnight. I don't trade this overnight. I trade this in the morning, right? So, and you could trade there's European stock markets you can trade at night, which are also very powerful. They move very fast. And, you know, there's European markets you can trade at night, but you could also trade US 30 at night if you have time. That's what's called opening bell, okay? So 9:30 a.m. Eastern time comes, the market starts moving. Now, the market will move before that also, okay? And if there's news that day, you know, I can talk a little bit about news here in a little bit. If there's news that day, it could typically move for news, okay? If it's very high volatility news, like, you know, the Fed talking and stuff like that. So, but here's the trick I wanted to share with you guys today, right? Because I want to give you a nugget to walk away from. One, if you don't have a TradingView account, go get your TradingView.com account. Very, very simple to do. Go ahead, open it up. All right. You mark the open and close of the, or not, let me rephrase that. The highest point on a Monday, right? And I like to kind of label these. So Monday high. All right, and today's the 9th. Okay, so Monday high. And then let's do Monday low. All right, cool. So now the trick is we're going to wait to see how the market moves tomorrow and the rest of the week based on these numbers, okay? Or these lines, these levels is a better way to put it. Now, here's what I'll tell you is that price typically will come back to revisit the Monday high or the Monday low that same week, okay? So what can that look like? Well, it could look something like this. Right? Here's where price is right now. It's actually already broken through the low of Monday, and it actually came back and retested already, right? But we're not going to trade that now because there's no volatility in the market. But here's what could happen. Come down, wherever it wants to come down to, comes back up, could potentially retest it and then really drop. If you know how to leverage trade, 1 second. Let's do that again. If you know how to leverage trade, okay? I don't know why it does that to me. Let's do it this way real quick. It's all good. Boom. 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 That's an entry point right there that you can enter in the market, depending on what it does. Now, if right now I'm talking Chinese to you, I get it. Reach out to me. I have some academy resources I can give you. But I'm expecting you to know about leverage trading as I'm speaking about this, okay? So I don't break it down too much. And we'll go over trades as they happen on these sessions. But basically, boom, that's a great entry point depending on what the market does tonight, okay? Now, there's also the possibility, this is my favorite one right now, right? Price came up, closed there. You will see if price wants to keep dropping after this, okay? There's many other possibilities, though, of what could happen, right? Depending on what happens, price could also decide that it's going to come into this range, potentially retest this area, and then shoot up, okay? So that's another possibility. Now, this would be a potential entry here, depending on how the candles move, okay? And then if price decides to come, I'm sorry, and that's from another week. And I'll explain why I have those there in a moment. If price does come all the way up here, two things can happen. One, price can drop, and then we could see it range. Okay? Or price could potentially come up here, come back down, and then shoot up. Okay? So right there, there's three scenarios that I'm giving you. Now, it is completely possible that this move happens tonight and just drops. All right? And I'm not going to get into key levels today because I didn't want to get too deep on the technical side today. But the point I want you to do, guys, getting off this call, the one trading nugget I want to give you is I want you guys to mark up your highs and your lows based on Mondays. This works for US 30, and this works for Forex pairs as well. And you want to back check them and make sure, back test them and make sure that, you know, you're looking at the pair that you use to trade with to see if it corresponds. I'll tell you, like, I like to trade oil. This doesn't work for oil all the time. Sometimes oil will just blast through it. I trade oil a little differently, but US 30, guys, I've seen US 30 literally range. Look, I'll show you this. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Here was a Monday high, right? This was the Monday high of December 13th. So Thursday, let me see. Monday low, I'm sorry. This was the Monday low of December 13th, okay? And this is the Monday high of the 20th, okay? So you're right around here, okay? Look how price just bounced in the range of Monday to Monday. Now, by the way, most of the time when I trade a Monday range, like look at this Monday range here. December 20th created this range right here. Okay. So you had the high. Where is it? Right there. Give or take right there, right? So you had a Monday high. Okay. And then you had, let me see, the 20th there. Somewhere there. Okay. I have to go back because I haven't used these in a minute. They were just sitting on this chart. I have my other chart on a different setup. But the point is this. Monday low was down here. Monday high was up here. Look at this entry that you would have gotten right here on the 21st. Okay. And to give you an idea, guys, of how important this could have been for you, this moved 375 points of profit. Let's say you catch 300 of those. You trade that at $10 a point, you just made $3,000 in one shot, right? That's how powerful this is. So guys, I really want you to, getting off this call today, really focus in on Monday highs, Monday lows, especially if you're trading US 30, which is the main thing that I trade moving forward. I really want you guys to focus in on this and take this nugget with you as we get off this call. All right. And we'll be doing more technical analysis moving forward. And I'll be sharing charts and stuff with you guys. I'm really just ramping up for the year and wanted to get this call out here. But I wanted to give you this nugget: Monday highs, Monday lows. All right. Here are the scenarios. I will put in the comment section later to follow me on TradingView, because one of the things I'm going to start doing is dropping my analysis so that people can follow the analysis and see how they play out. All right. And I will number this. So this is scenario 1 for tonight into tomorrow. This is scenario 2 for tonight into tomorrow. And then this is scenario 3 right there. Okay. So this scenario up here, that could also play out, but that's going to be some time from now. That's not going to happen right away. Could it happen at some point tomorrow? Absolutely. But there's a lot of pumping that has to happen to get there. All right. So guys, this is how I want you to look at Mondays. Obviously, most of you guys have other ways that you look at the charts, key levels and stuff like that. But this is a great way for you guys to be able to look at the market and then potentially take trades off of it. All right. As we wrap up, just so you know, guys, there's something called forexfactory.com. And on forexfactory.com, you're able to look at news throughout the week. And so tomorrow, we've got some US news at 9 a.m. Thursday, major news. So remember I told you guys earlier that news can move the markets. Thursday, 8:30 a.m., the market's going to move before that opening bell hits. So if you want to trade US 30, which is the main thing that I'm trading right now, you guys want to be ready for 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. All right. Because there's major news coming out at 8:30 a.m. All right. So that's the biggest news. And you also have 10 a.m. news on Friday as well. But this Thursday news, listen, the entire market's going to be building up to this. And one of the things that we say as traders is that news is a reason to move the market. So remember, it's not always like, here's the challenge that traders have with news. A lot of people are trying to guess where the market is going to go based off the news. Remember this, most of this stuff is manipulated, guys. And so the market is going to move wherever big money wants to move it. So don't always try to guess where the news is going to move the market and what it's going to do based on the news. What you want to do, this is what I've been doing for the last 12 months. You want to let the market show you what it wants to do, and then you follow it. Don't try to anticipate the move before it's happening. Let the market show you what it wants to do, and then you get into the wave. Picture it like an ocean. Do you want to get, you want to try to fight against the ocean? No, a surfer wants to ride with the wave. So that's what you want to do. If the market's showing you that, hey, setup number 1 is happening, all you want to do is flow with that. If the market's showing you, hey, setup number 2 is happening, you want to flow with that. But what you don't want to do is try to predict it by saying, man, when the news does this, the market's going to move this way. No, the markets are manipulated by big banks and big money. You don't want to try to guess what the news is going to do. You can have an idea, but what you rather do is you rather look at the charts and follow that. Same thing with cryptocurrencies, same thing with trading different currencies, and definitely, guys, with the stock market and US 30. All right. So fam, listen, that's our first session of Max Out Mondays. I really hope that you guys got value from this. I really hope that you enjoyed this. And my goal is to really dive into some awesome stuff, and then we'll end with the technical analysis and looking at some chart stuff going into the next week. Again, whatever you guys want to see more of, drop it in the comments. Let me know what you want to see more of. Let me know what you like the most from this session. And again, make sure you subscribe, like this video, comment, and share this with a friend. Share this with somebody that wants to put themselves in position to win going into the next year and into the next 5 and 10 years. So guys, my name is Steve Max, aka Max the Mentor. Hit me up on Instagram, on all your social medias, and definitely share this video and let me know that you got value